just waiting until I see that we have some more people watching.
Muted it so there's no feedback. You have one message. See by Angela, Janet, Stacy. Okay.
There's still only 2 people watching.
Because
Okay, so hopefully you guys can hear me, although there might be a little bit of lag. This is a presentation that we put together about Google Apps for nonprofits. On the first slide here, one of the advantages to setting up a Google Apps account is that we would be able to have individual email addresses for everyone at wildhorseboro.com, which would make it easy for you to keep WHBA emails separate from your own personal emails. We can set up generic ones for secretary, for treasurer, for info, for whatever we want to make up. We could make one specifically for an event if we wanted to. The emails are done through a Google Apps Gmail account, but if you don't want to access that email, you can always set it up to forward to your personal account. Next slide. Easy option for meetings. If everybody had an account through Google Apps with the Wild Horse Boro option, we could then easily use Google Hangouts, which would allow us to do voice and or video presentations, so we could all talk to each other, be able to see each other much easily, and kind of makes everybody a person more than just words behind a screen. And this would also allow us this is something that can also work on your phone or on your tablet, no PC needed. We could set it up as a public Hangout presentation, kind of like what I'm doing here, which would allow us to have a video and voice meeting, like for the general meeting that's coming up in April, and members could then view, watch, they could join the chat if they wanted to, and that would be an easy way to see stuff like that. And if we use the YouTube option that I'm using right now, we can also, I believe it records it automatically. Yeah. Another thing that it would allow us access to is Google Docs. So you get word processor, a spreadsheet program, and a slideshow program. The slideshow program is what I use to create this presentation. It's got a lot of the features that you have in Microsoft Office, which can make it very, it's a very well-rounded software suite that would be free. And so then we wouldn't have to worry about what version of Word or Excel or anything like that that everybody has. We would just have all these documents that everybody could access. When you access a document, different people can be viewing the document at the same time. You can make edits. People can see the edits as you make them. It will also do some, I believe, version control so that you know, what changes have been made and who made those changes. There's also a real-time chat option alongside a spreadsheet. You can, make notes, make comments, and it saves the chat so you can go back and look and see what people said. So as an example, we could use a spreadsheet in the Google Drive to keep track of all the members, and then it would be really easy for any of us to go and access it to see, who's current, who's in what area. It'd be, be easy to set up that way. Another example, you could use Google Sheets to keep track of tasks. I just made a little example of what we could do. You can have who it's assigned to, when it's due, what roadblocks you're running into, what the progress is, what the status is, and any notes, that sort of thing. And it's something that everybody could easily access without having to send email back and forth, without having to always upload a new version to Facebook or try and find the particular Facebook post that has the information that you needed. Because sometimes it can get pretty overwhelming when there's 6, a dozen new posts in a day trying to, oh, we need to get this done, this done, and this done. This would make an easy way to keep track of everything that that we're working on. And so another point that was brought up when this was mentioned earlier is privacy. So using Google Apps, Google does not own your data, you do. They have a transparency report which requires them to notify businesses when their data is accessed by them, and why they have to meet high safety standards. It's compatible with HIPAA standards, with if necessary, without any modifications to current settings. I've been involved in organizations that use like Google Drive to share documents when planning an event. Your company used Google Hangouts. The company that my husband used to work for, it's a for-profit business. They use Google Drive. They use Google Hangouts to communicate with remote locations, with each other within their office. It's pretty handy. So, some personal information is needed, just like any email service. They need to know who, at least a very brief, a nickname, something. So they do collect information about how you use Google services like YouTube and other stuff that Google has, but it's not, as you can see, but it excludes all creation of information like sending emails or creating documents. It's the same as really any of them, because all these email providers like Google, like Yahoo, they survive on advertising dollars. So they keep track of, or not keep track, they are aware of, like you've noticed on some sites, you visit a site about saddles, you might see advertisements on another page about saddles. So it's just basic information like that, without going like, oh, Nancy looked at this saddle, so let's send that to somebody else. That's not what they're doing. So sharing any data outside of Google, such as advertisers, requires explicit permission, so we don't have to give them permission to do anything like that. So keeping something like the membership documents, the membership spreadsheet in a Google Sheet, the data would be secure. Nobody's going to be accessing it but, us. Your email address is safe. Google doesn't sell email addresses. They don't send emailed advertisements. It's not Google that will make an email list be compromised. That's going to be someone, with, like, say we had a mailing list of all our members and it gets sent to somebody. If one of those people happens to have their computer was compromised, that's a way that email addresses could possibly get out, but it's not Google's fault. It's that person's computer was compromised. Another thing is keeping our documents, on Google Drive. One thing is they have their own redundant backups. We don't have to worry about backing things up. They also have their own virus scanning. So our documents that we store in Google Drive they're safe. They're scanned. We're not going to be, getting viruses by storing stuff with their servers. Google Apps for Businesses costs $50 per user per year. But since we are a registered 501c3 nonprofit, they have an option to provide this service at no cost to registered nonprofits. So we would pay nothing for enterprise level management features, and we can say you forgot your password with something set up like this. We can go reset your password, send you a new password, and you can, fix that. We can, we need an email address set up for this event in a month. We can just go create that ourselves and set it up to forward to the board members, any replies that we get. It gives us a lot of flexibility to just, set things up how we want it to be. As an example, my husband and I have used Google Apps for years, since it existed, pretty much since it existed, which luckily means we got grandfathered in, so we're not paying $50 a year. And it's really handy. We can share documents with each other. We can, we have our email addresses set up. I've got like my personal email. I have a WHBA email account. I have one set up for doing stuff with eBay or mailing lists. I can organize all of that however I want. I have a like a professional email address set up with my full name, so that if I need to put it on a work document, I can not look like I'm just some random silly person. We've also been able to, with our personal domain name, we've set up an email account that forwards to both of us, that we use for all joint stuff, for bills, for bank account information, for just anything that we both need to see the information. So we have that joint email account. We each have our own personal email accounts, and a few other side email accounts that all forward to the same inbox, so that nothing ever gets missed. Is that the last slide? And I guess that was the last slide. So if you guys are all still following along, does anybody have any questions? One other thing I forgot about, one of the things that Google Apps would allow us to have is also a Google Voice account. So we could set up a phone number that could be forwarded to whoever is the person in charge at the time. We could make it be whatever we wanted. Like we could put the last 4 letters. We could probably set them up to be spell out WHBA or anything like that. So then we don't have to use anybody's personal phone number. We can just set up a Google Voice phone number that could then forward to, like I said, whoever's phone number is set up. Okay, ending the presentation portion of this meeting. Thank you all for watching.